Hey everybody, are you ready for another scary story? This week's tale is going to take us over to Morocco, where a man discovers a horrifying secret behind his front door. So turn off the lights, grab your blankets, and get ready to hear. It was the second day of Eid, the festival of sacrifice, in a small village near Fez in Morocco. The scent of fresh bread, mint tea, and roasted almonds filled the air during the day. But when night fell, something else lingered in the old alleyways and quiet courtyards. Something darker. 32-year-old Abdelila had returned to his childhood home for the holiday. His parents had passed away years ago, but he still owned the old house on the edge of town, surrounded by olive trees and silence. He decided to spend the Eid there alone, seeking peace after a rough year. The long drive had tired him out. So after making the evening prayer, Adel made himself some strong coffee and sat down on the faded sofa in the living room. Looking around, he saw all the mementos of his childhood scattered about the house. Faded comic books lying around, the dusty football tucked away in the corner, his old-school backpack hanging on a hook by the door. Each item tugged at his memory, and he smiled, feeling a sense of nostalgia wash over him. He spent hours that night sipping his coffee, reminiscing about the good times he'd spent in this very house. As he sipped his coffee, he remembered the happy times he'd spent in the house. His parents would always make sure there was an extra place set at the table for him whenever he came home, even though they knew he'd only be staying for a few days. The smell of sweet oranges filled the courtyard as they laughed and talked late into the night. He missed them. He missed the way they used to tease him about his future, how they hoped he'd settle down soon and start a family of his own. Abdelila felt a deep pang of longing, a desire for those simpler times to return, but he knew that wasn't possible. His parents were gone and he was all grown up now. He couldn't stay in this house forever. He had his own life to live, his own path to follow. Still, he was grateful for the memories he'd made here. They were a source of comfort to him, a reminder of the love and joy that had once filled these rooms. He woke up early the next morning to pray, then prepared coffee and dates like every Eid before. The neighbors brought greetings and sweets and everyone spoke of blessings and gratitude. By evening, the streets were empty again, and Adel sat alone in the dim light of the living room, listening to the wind outside. That's when he heard it, a soft knock at the door. At first, he ignored it. Everyone had gone to sleep, but the knocking came again, slow, deliberate, 3 times. He opened the door cautiously. There was no one there, just the cold night and the sound of crickets in the distance. But on the doorstep stood a small plastic bag. Inside it, a piece of raw meat, still dripping, wrapped in newspaper, and beneath it, a note written in shaky handwriting. "Thank you for what you did last year. We won't forget." Abdelila stared at the words. His hands began to shake. He remembered nothing of the sort. He hadn't sacrificed an animal last year. Not here, not in this house. He tossed the bag into the trash and locked the door, but the unease stayed with him. Later that night, as he tried to fall asleep, he heard footsteps above in the attic. Heavy, deliberate. He never used the attic. There was nothing up there except dust and old furniture. He told himself it was just the wind, or maybe rats. But then came the whispering, faint voices, speaking in Arabic, but too low to understand. They weren't coming from the attic anymore. They were inside the walls. Abdelila grabbed his phone and opened the Quran app, reciting Ayat al-Kursi under his breath. The whispers stopped. Silence returned. He didn't sleep that night. In the morning, he decided to investigate. He climbed into the attic with a flashlight. Dust covered everything. In the corner, behind an old wardrobe, he found something he could never have imagined. A pile of plastic bags, all soaked in blood, dozens of them, and under them, a torn photograph. It showed a family, smiling, dressed in Eid clothes. On the back, written in the same handwriting as the note, "You forgot us, but we remember you." His knees gave way. He recognized the faces. They were people who had disappeared over the years, relatives, even a cousin who vanished in 2014. People he hadn't thought about in years. He ran downstairs, packed his things, and fled the house without looking back. When he got back to the city, he told no one what he saw, until weeks later, when he received a call from a neighbor. "Your house. Someone broke in. The police went in and found, you should come see." When he arrived, the house was surrounded by officers. Inside, the attic was open. The plastic bags were gone, but the photo remained on the floor, with a new face added, his own. Since that day, no one has entered the house again. Locals say that during Eid, if you pass by late at night, you can hear whispers behind the closed doors, voices thanking someone for their sacrifice, voices asking to be remembered, and sometimes, just sometimes, you can hear someone knocking 3 times. If you want to read more scary stories, click the link in the description below. For more creepy tales from around the world, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I release new videos every Friday. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this terrifying tale from Morocco. If you want to send me your own spooky story, use the submission link in the description. Who knows, your story could be the next one I read. Have a safe and happy Halloween, and I'll see you soon.